You too, what it do? It's your boy Benji, and we are back in between the ropes. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe, and I do appreciate each and every one of y'all that have been hitting that subscribe button and join the fam. Y'all motivate me to drop more content, and I'm trying to get on top of it for y'all. I'm trying, man. Life is life, but look, I'm not even gonna do that right now because I know a lot of y'all probably can't even recognize me right now. I'm incognito. It is Benji. Look, no, I get it. I'm hard to find, but you know. Anyways, we love all things entertainment this way, and of course, Monday Night Raw only allows us an opportunity to talk about what we saw as a community. So let's get into it, man. The show gets started off with a boom. When you hear that, it's just me, Oos. Day one, just me, Oos. Anyways, the Uso twins end up heading to the ring, and they are quickly interrupted by the BRONS, who come on and let them know that they may be a little bit confused about which show they're on. Which, if you think about it, it's kind of a valid point. People have just been randomly hopping around from show to show and brand to brand. Braun Breaker gets on the mic and just immediately loses it and starts heading towards the ring, but he's stopped by Bronson Reed, who asks the Usos to acknowledge their tribal thief. I'm not mad at him for asking this, but it makes little sense to me, especially since he lost to Roman Reigns and actually got the shoes taken back from him. Also, week by week, I'm losing more and more faith in Braun Breaker to be that guy, because he hasn't really said anything significant on the mic or meaningful in over a year, man. And he resorts to just barking when he can't get the point across, which at the very least is entertaining, but come on, man. The Usos finally get on the mic, and I'm not going to lie to you, man. Jimmy Uso was just levels above. I did notice, though, that Jey Uso was wearing red trimmed merce, which typically means something. I mean, it's in opposition to his normal blue. I keep an eye on that. Anyways, again, I do enjoy the Usos on the mic together. I do enjoy them as a tag team together. And they end up accepting a match against the Bronsons at WrestlePalooza, which could actually be interesting. The Usos were super decorated as a tag team unit, and the Brons need some relevance. So who ends up losing this match? While you think about that, and while I think about that, LA Knight does not hesitate to attack everybody. He's giving the Braun boys the good old beatdown. There's a point where he tries to BFT Bronson Reed and is pushed into the corner, almost catching Jey, before he ducks and runs, which leads to Jey Uso getting crushed in the corner by Bronson Reed. This, for some reason, causes immediate tension between Jey and LA once the good guys clear the ring and get them Brawnies out of there. Now, obviously, for anybody watching, LA Knight was just, again, a character of happenstance. Like, this obviously wasn't purposeful, but for some reason, the person that he's beefing with doesn't see that. Last week it was him and CM Punk, or whatever week that was before SummerSlam, or whatever we just saw Clash in Paris. I mean, it's kind of went to repeat here. At the very least, if y'all haven't seen the pattern of promo, brawl, and this turned into a match, I don't want to be the one to break it to you. Interestingly, AJ Styles shows up to the ring and cuts a promo during the commercial break, mentioning the lack of help that he has by his side, and name drops some of the OC members that aren't by his side. He says there is someone that doesn't want him to win, and maybe this is the system or the WWE itself, and he notes that he's only getting a chance to talk during the commercial. So this is kind of like a nice work shoot. I'm interested in this. He could be pointing out the people that, have alluded to AJ Styles not being booked correctly online, to the point where AJ's son even entered the fray. People have speculated that Triple H doesn't like AJ, is jealous, or just bad at booking, whatever the case may be. This is a good point, I guess, to kind of ignite the juices between the people, or amongst the people that support AJ Styles. This could also actually mean a actual heel turn, instead of that, fake heel turn that we got against Cody Rhodes last year. Or it could be a scenario where we see AJ Styles fighting against the system. There's potential here. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all theories are. He ends up matching up against Grande Americano. There's a secondary Grande Americano who tries to interfere in the match. Also, in Grande Americano actually showed up to a new song, which is, I guess, another case of somebody getting def rebelled. But yeah, this is a solid match. It ends up in the Styles Clash. I have no idea what's happening because we get Io Sky backstage after Adam Pearce lets her know that Stephanie Backer's contract signing is canceled and she isn't on TV. But the match against Io is still good to go at WrestlePalooza. I don't know why Io and Stephanie is getting burned like this, but whatever. Nikki Bella, for some reason, comes to glaze Io after the fact, and then the jealous Asuka shows up. Nikki's talking about how Asuka doesn't have to like her, but she will respect her, which I don't understand what this woman is talking about. Because remember, I've continued to tell y'all that she just gets any opportunity to talk and just starts lying and misreading the situation. This was never about respect for you, ma'am, but whatever. Nikki ends up challenging Asuka to a match. We then see backstage Jimmy Uso catching Jay on his way out, and Jay lets Big Jim know that he has to stay in order to help work on a plan to help LA Knight. Jay says to hell with that and just stick with the plan to smash everybody and get acknowledged. Sounds like somebody I know, maybe a little Roman Reigns, and Jimmy confirms it. Doing things the way Jay has been trying to do things, though, hasn't been working, so Jay wants to switch things up. I'm no hater. I know a lot of y'all are going to talk about, the consistency here. I mean, Roman Reigns did talk to Jay a couple weeks ago, way before WrestleMania 40. Roman Reigns talked about how Jay will start to understand him. Sure, I'll allow for it, but I mean, if we had to, pay attention to this on a week-to-week basis, I don't really understand what's going on here. This would have made a little bit more sense directly after Clash in Paris. Like, I would have loved to see Jay trying to do things differently since he's had another failed championship attempt. We could have hinted at this after Jay lost the belt in the first place. But doing things the Jay thing, I would have to admit, was not actually a bad way to go. Since he's been solo dolo, I mean, he's won a tag championship with Cody, then an IC title, and then a world heavyweight title. But whatever. I don't know why everybody's getting all fake mad. Maybe chasing the title will make you lose your mind. But again, going back to this red trimming, this could mean something. Might he turn on his brother? I got to give Milwaukee their props because AJ Lee walks out to a booming crowd wearing the Intercontinental Championship around her waist. She soaks in the love and adulation from the crowd and lets the people know that she is your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler. She didn't really plan on coming back to the ring and mentions that the journey that she went on, and the similarities that she has to Becky Lynch, including being a New York Times best-selling author. Funny enough, AJ actually came out in Becky Lynch's belt, and Becky Lynch comes out in its complete Karen mode. I love it. She's actually morphing into Seth with some of these outlandish outfits. And again, this annoying heel gimmick that she's got going on is kind of fun. And the crowd is working hard as they boo for her. So, at the end of the day, again, her and Seth are some of the most recognizable heels in the company. And they're some of the few ones that are doing a good job. If you ask me, the segment goes on a little too long. But Seth comes out to nicely ask for Becky Lynch's belt back after it's revealed that Becky Lynch has big bruises on her eyes, little black eyes. I guess we're supposed to believe that Becky Lynch went through a street fight with Lyra Valkyria and walked away unscathed, but taking a couple punches from AJ Lee's going to do this to her. Anyways, AJ Lee proposes that she'll give the belt back to Becky, but under a couple circumstances. Either they'll fight for it right now in the ring, or Becky will allow her to fight against her and her husband, as long as AJ Lee gets her husband on her side, Mr. CM Punk. I thought it was pretty funny to watch CM Punk sneak up on Seth Rollins, and at the very least, I enjoy this version of Seth and Becky. It just seems a little bit more realistic to me, more believable to me. They were super unbelievable as some super serious bad guys. I think having them in this fashion works a little better for me. We also saw Penta backstage talking about the opportunity to fight for a championship before Rusev slides into the competition asking for the same thing, or at least slide into the conversation. But they end up getting in each other's faces and they get a match. And seriously though, with all the commercials, this match is like barely over a couple minutes. I mean, really barely over a minute. The New Day show up to distract Penta, and he slows to get to the top rope, which ends up leaving an opportunity open for Rusev to catch him with a Machta kick. Looks like Rusev will duel with Dirty Dom, which is really what I expected, because why would we see Penta versus Dom part 16,000? The one good thing here is that we got to see a Bayley video promo, so we didn't have to be subjected to watching Rusev's entrance. I will mention that at some point during the show, we actually got to see LYRA versus RACQUEL. LYRA ends up losing in a way that I really predicted. I mean, I was waiting all match for her to end up in a scenario where she's up high so RACQUEL can grab her and put her down with a Tejana bomb. That's exactly how the match ended. Good for RACQUEL, but I'm like one of the few people that watches these shows just to power scale people. Like, there's not really a scenario where it's believable that LYRA would lose to RACQUEL, even though I believe LYRA's actually beat RACQUEL and rolled her up or something like that. I mean, I understand that they built this matchup last week, but I don't understand the purpose of it, because it's not even like we saw RACQUEL and Roxanne jump her after the match. That was actually something I'm surprised to not see. I thought I was going to, be able to predict that as well. But now I get it, because for some reason, Roxanne is supposed to match up against LYRA next week. Whatever. I really don't even care if Finn Balor leaves the Judgment Day anymore. We see them arguing backstage again. Dude, it's likely that WWE wants Liv Morgan to be the reason that these guys all finally break up. But it's like they're all stuck in a loading screen. You know what I mean? Like, like the GTA loading screen. Like, if your system's running slow, you're just gonna be stuck. Loading, and maybe the game's gonna start. No, loading. And like, if you ever had the old PlayStation, that's how it was. You were like, is it gonna turn on today? Is it not? That's literally what I feel like is going on with a lot of the factions right now. They just keep looping around in circles. And like, we're all wondering whether or not things are gonna progress, and it's like, back in the circle. Anyways, later in the show, we end up getting Nikki Bella versus Asuka, and then for me, the Nikki nostalgia has worn off. As I actually fell asleep during this match. Seriously, I mean, it was an Asuka lock finish that ends up winning it all, but dude, Nikki stinks in the ring. I don't know if a lot of y'all want to chalk it up to ring rust. I don't know if y'all want to chalk it up to age. I can't get behind it. And for some reason, she has the balls to confront Asuka and Kairi after the match. After Asuka gets pushed by Nikki, Rhea Ripley shows up to save the day for some reason. Dude, the storyline is so forced. Just let Asuka, Kairi, and Io beef. I don't understand this. Like, why is the obsession of having Rhea Ripley just involved in this? Doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, Asuka mentions being the WWE's top weapon, and then Rhea is like, oh, but what about Io? Like, are you trying to tell me that the woman who has been gunning after the championship and has always found herself in the main title picture is now suddenly going to concede that Io is the best? Anyways, LA Knight loses to Bronson Reed. I don't even know if he gets hit with Bronson Reed's finisher or not, but he loses. Of course, the Bronze decide to jump these boy after the match, and that leads to, of course, a couple people coming to save him. First is Jimmy Uso, and it's very likely that Jey Uso comes out to save him as well. But it's more likely that Jey Uso really came out to save his brother Jimmy Uso. LA Knight clears the bad boys out of the ring with a chair. And at this point in the show, like, I realized the truth. I think it was one of y'all that told me in the comments that, bro, if you watch the highlights, you really miss nothing. And that's true. Nothing goes on in these shows. Like, there's nothing that makes you have to watch the show. I try to, keep faith because I try to do these reviews and whatnot, but dude, you really don't have to. But strangely enough, LA Knight checks on Jey Uso to make sure that they're good, and this little misunderstanding they had in the beginning of the segment today, is like water under the bridge. He then helps up Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso before Jey hits him with a spear, and now Jimmy's just sitting there confused and conflicted. It really doesn't make any sense. And if I was Jimmy Uso, I would be torn as well, because if you had to think about it, the guy that was trapped in the bloodline vortex alongside you was LA Knight for months/years. So at least since WrestleMania 40, one of the guys that's been helping him has been LA Knight. And for some strange reason, Jey Uso just decides to spear him. Now you can make an argument that why would Jey do this? Especially since he wanted to leave earlier and didn't want to help LA Knight, but he shows up to help him anyways. You make an argument that, again, he only came out to help Jimmy Uso, but I don't understand the purpose of this. The very good thing is that it was a little bit of a surprise, so the potential is there for a Jey Uso heel turn. Maybe losing his mind, a la Roman, but you're not going to make me forget. This is the same thing, for the most part, going on, just with different players. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you like complete a video game and you can create a player and that player is going to undergo the same storyline, regardless of whoever you name him, whatever you create him to be, he's going to go through the same storyline. That's literally what I see right now. It's just plug and play, different guys, the same scenario each and every week. Again, I don't even understand what the vision is like set to accomplish at this point. Dude, Paul Heyman's in the hospital. Nobody cares. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are just making matches on the fly and losing/winning, but nobody cares either way. Whatever happened to like world domination? Seth Rollins finessed and got the world heavyweight title, but it seems as if nobody cares about the other title. You would think that that would be a sensible way for the division to really take over. But over the last couple of weeks, we've heard them mention that Raw is their show. So it looks like they don't even have an interest in what's going on SmackDown. So what vision are they actually after right now? Because if you pay attention, Seth Rollins has not even interacted with these guys in the last couple of weeks, and he's over there trying to intergender matches with his wife. Whatever. I still don't really get the purpose of Jey Uso spearing LA Knight, and I really don't want to hear him explain this, for 15 minutes next week. If you had to ask me, I love to rate things yay and nay and maybe okay. Truthfully, though, I had to say this is an okay show. I mean, the crowd was hot. They did a lot of nonsensical chants. I mean, they were even chanting therapy at one point during AJ Lee's promo. They were chanting for Roman Reigns in the middle of Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso's promo. So there's a lot of nonsense that's going on within the show, but there was a lot of energy there, and there was at least a little bit of effort. Again, if you were somebody who was like in a cryo chamber or something like that for the last 10 years, and you woke up and saw what was going on right now on TV, you would probably think that everything was the same as it was 10 years ago, because you would have AJ Lee, you would have Nikki Bella, you would have the Usos. I mean, dude, you would have Seth Rollins as the heavyweight champion. A lot of this stuff would look very similar to probably what you have been seeing on TV at that time. Like somebody just took you off TV and just put you back in. Right now, you'd be like, oh, wow, it's same WWE Monday Night Raw. I mean, literally, you got like AJ Styles. I mean, it's pretty similar. All in all, the thing that I continue to mention is that it's just nostalgia running rampant on this show. I mean, what's carrying the bag right now is CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and AJ Lee. Did I mention AJ Lee? I mean, dude, all these guys have, they put their dues in, and I'm not mad at it. But the guys that were supposed to be pushing, your Lyras, your Roxannes, your Dirty Doms, I mean, they're barely getting any TV time. You're getting Bronson Reed finally getting some time with Braun Breaker, but again, they're not doing anything meaningful. I don't know what they're going to do, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one in the comments below. I'm out.